Welcome to Masterful Visions. I'm your host, Zebediah Barrett. To start things off, let's refresh our memories and briefly discuss Wes Anderson's style. He's known for his signature color palette, quirky characters, symmetrical framing, his use of miniatures, and his choice of music. He's a master at creating a world that is both visually stunning and thought-provoking. His movies are often whimsical, dragging us into his storylines, and his style has become synonymous with his films. Before I get started today, I do have a disclaimer. I would not recommend this movie to everybody listening. Although this movie only has an MPAA rating of PG-13, I would honestly suggest some of you proceed with caution. This movie could offend many of you with its themes. Honestly, it kind of threw my wife and I through a loop when we first watched it. Anyway, released in 2012, Moonrise Kingdom is a coming-of-age story about two 12-year-olds who fall in love and run away on a New England island in the 1960s. It's a beautiful work of art by Anderson. But why start with this one, you ask? Well, it's because the point of this podcast is to share my knowledge and my love of film. It's to inform you and help you recognize and appreciate the art form that is the world of film. I want you to have the ability at the end of a series to turn on a movie and be able to recognize, hey, that's that director that he was talking about. Anderson is just the easiest to do this with. We'll worry about the others when we get there. Just help me by focusing on Anderson for now. I have included this film as the first in the Anderson series simply because it has all the hallmarks of a Wes Anderson film. It's a perfect example of how he creates a world that's both fantastical and yet somehow feels real and quirky. The first thing that stands out about Moonrise Kingdom to me is the color palette. You know, as I've previously mentioned, Anderson's really known for his pastel colors, and Moonrise Kingdom's no exception. The movie's filled with shades of pink, blue, and yellow. By using these colors, he's kind of creating a dreamlike atmosphere that feels both nostalgic and modern. These colors are not only beautiful, but they also help establish the film's tone, which is for the most part playful. You know, honestly, simply watching the trailer, you could probably get the grasp on this movie and be able to understand, hey, that's a Wes Anderson movie. The second thing that sticks out is another distinctive aspect of Anderson's style. We briefly mentioned it before. It's his symmetry. In Moonrise Kingdom, we often see him framing his characters perfectly in the center of a shot. Well, you might now be asking yourselves, well, Zeb, what on earth is special about that? Well, my friends, as a matter of fact, it's super special. Anderson does this pretty often, and in the case of Moonrise Kingdom, that framing style not only creates a sense of symmetry, but it also reinforces the themes of order and balance that run throughout the movie. For example, in that opening scene, we see a shot of Sam's bedroom, perfectly symmetrical, with Sam in the middle of the frame. That opening shot kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It also establishes that main idea of order and balance to us, the viewers. So now let's briefly talk about his camera shots, and I mean briefly. If you've been paying attention at all, you already know that he likes dolly shots, and this is no different. For those who don't know, a dolly is a tripod on wheels. In the opening scenes, we get to see the camera move from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen, showing different rooms in the house. This kind of almost gives us a feeling that we're being given a tour of a dollhouse. Kind of just adds to the playfulness of the film, if you ask me. Remember that this is not a children's film. It's rated PG-13 and has some more serious issues being dealt with, like adultery and depression. Moving on to the characters in Moonrise Kingdom, they're also classic Wes Anderson creation. They're quirky, charming, and often eccentric. The two young leads, Sam and Susie, are outsiders who find each other and form a bond that's both innocent and profound. In addition to Sam and Susie, there are a host of supporting characters in Moonrise Kingdom that are equally quirky and memorable. The Scouts, led by Edward Norton's character, are a hilarious group of misfits, each of them with their own unique personality and their own set of quirks. Even the adults in the movie, Bruce Willis and Bill Murray's characters, are also eccentric and funny, kind of adding to that film's offbeat charm. I honestly would have never pictured Bill Murray and Bruce Willis to have a good on-screen chemistry, but I guess they do. Seem to work out in Moonrise Kingdom, at least. This entire podcast, of course, is composed of my personal opinions. There are those that are totally against Wes Anderson and his style of filmmaking. There are those who disagree with his choice of two children playing the lead roles in this movie. But if you ask me, I believe these two child actors made the film feel more lifelike. Their lack of acting skills were made up for in the way they accomplished the feel of two socially awkward children falling in love and running away together. Now, to each their own, I suppose, but I will say this. If you want to judge a movie properly, don't listen to podcasts and read critic reviews to get an opinion. Watch it and form your own opinions, please. If you get nothing else out of this entire podcast, I hope you're able to discern for yourselves what makes a movie a work of art and that you're able to form your own opinions. Moving on from my soapbox, we get to the music of the film. Music plays a crucial role in all movies. It adds depth to the stories. It sets the mood. It sets the pace for the whole film. And in my opinion, the best films are edited to match the music, edited on beat to create impactful and goosebump-inducing moments of awe. The intensity of a specific beat hitting at a specific time and a character locking eyes with the audience at that exact moment, gives me goosebumps every time. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, in this movie, within the first 5 minutes, there's a scene with Susie at a school bus stop. Her character locks eyes with the audience on the downbeat, and it's such a great moment in this film. Yes, it's in the first 5 minutes, but man, goosebumps all over. The music in movies helps create a sense of time and place. It also, in this case, reinforces the film's themes of love, loss, and longing. Anderson knows how he wants the audience to react, and he's able to get that reaction through the creation of the perfect combination of musical art and film art, stirring the audience's emotional response. So all in all, Moonrise Kingdom is a perfect example of Wes Anderson's unique style. If you're into quirky movies or something that's maybe away from the norm, this might be the one for you. I hope you all enjoyed learning more about the one and only Wes Anderson and his unique and memorable directing style. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll be discussing yet another one of Anderson's works. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon on Masterful Visions.